Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing the product of creation. Now, Kennet's dad, who we've played a few puzzles from him before, sent this particular puzzle through. It's only got 8 plays at the time of recording, so I have no idea how difficult this puzzle is, but normally Kennet's dad tends to create puzzles that are relatively difficult, and then he would recommend ones that are sort of around the 2-star, 3-star difficulty rating. Hopefully this is closer to 2 than 3. I think yesterday's puzzle was tough enough. Now, I guess with this particular title, you've got Sleuth there giving creation a go. He seems to be, on a bench somewhere in the heavens, and an anvil, of course. I mean, if you're going to be creating stuff, you're smashing away at an anvil and creating magical things. I can't imagine Sleuth being particularly godly. I mean, if you've seen my Sudoku, being godly feels like quite a few steps away. Looking forward to today's puzzle. It's got one unique variant, which is introduced as part of this puzzle, so it should play fairly interestingly. Enough of all of that, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets with the product of creation from Kennet's dad and the following set of rules. First rule is a normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and then every 2x3 box. This is a 6x6 Sudoku. So place the digits 1 to 6 once each in every row, column, and 2x3 box. That would be the correct sentence. Now, here is the product of creation part. A red X indicates a product square. So any 2x2 region of cells where the product of the digit in cells on the negative diagonal, so it would be these two cells, the top left to bottom right, divided by the product of the digits in the positive diagonal, so bottom left to bottom right, must equal 1. I think what that's saying is, like, quite a few things, but I think what it's saying is the products of these two cells must equal the products of these two cells. Hence, if you divide one by the other, it will be equal to 1. That's one sentence. But what I'm also seeing in there is any 2x2 regions of cells. So I'm kind of thinking that means negative constraints apply. So essentially it means that these two cells can't have the same product as these two cells because they don't have an X between them. It's very specifically worded, so I'm kind of thinking yes, it is. Right, let's keep going. Digits in cells joined by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. We know what these are. Essentially, if this cell is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that one cell is double the other. Then we also have digits in cells joined by a blue dot are in a 1 to 3 ratio, which is down here. So if this cell is a 2, for example, it would have to be a 6, so that it is in a 3 to 1 ratio. That is all the rules we have for today. Interesting set of rules. Let's see how we get on. As always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Sorry, I'm taking a moment to actually think about these product 2x2 regions. So I'm going to think out loud for a second. I don't think any of these can contain 5s. 5 is a prime number. Interesting, actually. Where was I going? I mean, the problem was 3. So 5... Right. So it's not just that 5 is a prime number, because obviously 2, 3 are also prime numbers, as is 5. Forget the 1 for a second. But the thing is, 6 is the product of these two, whilst there is nothing else in the digits 1 to 6 that is a product of 5. So I think if you ever put a 5 on here, let's go with 5 and 1 for the sake of argument, there's no two cells that don't include a 5, because you see this 5 would see both of these cells, that can actually come up to the same product that includes the 5. And it doesn't matter what I pick, 2, 3, 4, it will always be the same challenge. If I pick a product, I think that is a true statement. If I pick a product that includes the 5, it will always need a 5 in any other way I'm going to get to it, because it's a prime number, and therefore this is not going to work. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to do this, but I am for now going to say none of these cells can contain a 5. Now, notice when I went through this, I said 2, 3, 5, and I can't have a 5, and the 6 works. Now, I'm kind of now wondering, does 4 work? I think the answer is yes. I could do double 2 with a 4 and 1. So I can't exclude a 4 as well. Okay. Let's keep going with this for a second. Now I'm thinking that I always have to have a 2. And why do I always have to have a 2? How am I trying to explain this? So the products, unless the two cells are the same, the products can't share digits. So let's say that this is a 4. Well, of course, the diagonal could have another 4, but neither of these cells could have a 4. Now, let's think about all of these digits for a second that are available to us. And I'm just noticing that this light gray is just impossible to see. So it also means that 5 is in one of these two cells, which says it's none of these. That's a 5. It's not this cell. That's a 5. That's a 5. 5 is one of these. 5 is one of these. Aligns in columns 1 and 2. That's not a 5. That is a 5. 5, not 4. Right. All well and good. Let's just get back to the products for a second. Now, let's think about all of these digits that we can put on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a bit of a shame I started this kind of low. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So you can't do double 3 because that would be a 9. And even though 6 has a 3, I can't do 6 and something else, for example. And how about illustrate this? If I do double 3, that's a 9. While 6 includes a 3 as a factor, I can't find something else that would allow me to get to 9 that isn't the 3 again. So I'm always going to be multiplying with something. Admittedly, I mean, if I do 1, 3, that also doesn't work. That's a combination of 3, which would require another 3. So I will always be combining, I think, with something that is a multiple or is a multiple of 2. I think that is a true statement. So yeah, that would be 1 and 6. And if it's not 2, 3, let's say we had a double 2, that would be 1, 4. Interesting. So there's always a multiple of 2. I feel like this is actually much more restricted than you might think. You see, 1, 2 doesn't work because then I would need to get to a product of 2 and I would have to repeat both the 1 and the 2. 1 and 3 doesn't work for the exact same reason. 1 plus a prime number will break the puzzle. 1 and 4 doesn't, and 1 and 6 doesn't, because I can actually have either a double 2 or 2 and 3. Interesting. So let's think about possible combinations now. 1, 6, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, sorry, 2, 2. And could that literally be all of them? No, I could do 3, 4 and 2, 6. That's 12, that's 12. So these are all the ones that include ones. No other ones would work. Now, if I just think about the 2, so I've got a 2, 2. A 2, 3 would be the same as 1, 6. A 2, 4 would be 8, which is essentially 2 to the power of 3. I'm not going to be able to come up with 2 digits that will get me there. So that is invalid. 5 we've already dismissed. 2, 6 is the only other one with 3 and 4. Now I'm guessing if I go 1, 3 we've already dismissed, 2, 3 we've already covered, 3 squared doesn't work, 3, 4 is covered, 3, 5 is done, and 3 and 6 is too big, it's 18. I don't think there's anything else that will get there. So that is all the combinations that we have available. Okay. Right. Now the 1 to 3 ratio is catching my attention, because there are only 2 cells that would work, 2 combinations that would work, 2, 6 and 1, 3. I want to line up the 2's for a second, just to sort of better visualize them so that they're all in the same column. Now, if this is 2, 6, essentially it means this cell would have to be, well, these 2 cells cannot. There's always a 2. I think I said that already previously. There's always a 2 in every one of these on both sides. Because remember, the 3, 4 is diagonal. No, the 2, 6 doesn't have to be. Right. If this is 2, 6, well, it's broken this option. It's broken this option because that's a double 2. It's also... No, I could do 3. Well, 2, 6, so that would have to be, if I'm making this one work, so 2, 6, this could be 3 and 2, 1 and 6, and then 2, 6 in here, 2 and 6 that way. That actually works. I'd have to probably reverse it, because that can't be 1, 2, can't be 2, 4, and it can't be 3, 6. And maybe that's telling me this cannot be 2, 6. See, 2, 6 will always force this setup. It will have 2, 6 and 2, 6. And once I remove both the 2 and the 6 from this black Kropke dot, then 1, 2 is out, 2, 4 is out, and 3, 6 is out. And I don't have anything else that's left. 4, 8 is not allowed in a 6x6 Sudoku. So I'm going to say this is 1, 3. What does that leave me here now? Technically, I could do 4, 3, 2, 6, and 4 and 6 in here would be fine, and I could put 1 and 2 in here. So this one works. I don't think I need the gray cells anymore, so let's just lose that for a second. And just to distinguish that these are references, forget that. So 1, 3 will definitely work. We've shown that 2, 6 doesn't. Well, okay, let me just shift all of these one along so I can actually think about this a bit better. Well, we now know that these cells are 2, 4, 6. If this is 2, 4, 6, so I can definitely do 2, 6, 4, 3. I could also do 4, 1, double 2. And I can also do, I can't, no, I can do 2, 6, sorry, 2, 3, 6, 1. So all of them work now. Interesting. But remember, this black Kropke dot here in box 2 broke down when things lined up in here to eliminate. Essentially, if I remove the 2 and a 3 or a 6, I'll be in trouble. And would that be the case? If I go with a double 2, for example, that would be 4, that would be 1. Well, that would be 3, that would be 1. And then 3 6s here, that's actually fine. So I can make that work. So this is good. 3 4. Let's go with 4 and 3, 2 and 6, and then the 2 and 3 line up, and then we're in trouble. But if I reverse them for a second, 6, 3, 2, and 4, I can still fit in 1, 2, can't I? That would be 1, that would be 3. Yeah, that still works. And then this option, I'm pretty sure I can make work. Can I? Well, the 2 would have to be here. The 3 would be there, so that I have 1 there. This now would end up having to be 2 4. So 2 3. The 1 is not available, so this would have to be 6. This would have to be 1, and then 2 4 would still work. Okay, frustrating. So I'm always going to go with 2s. So all of these seem to work. So this is not how we're going to make progress in the puzzle now. Actually, this one is now interesting because it's not 2 4 6. It's 1 or 3. And because it can't be 5, and it's not 2 4 or 6. So what is the diagonal of this is maybe the more interesting question. Now, if it's 1, option A is 4 and then a double 2. Option B is 1 with a 6 and then 2 3. But this can't be 3, so this would be the 2, this would be the 3. So that's if it's 1. If it's 3, well, I could do 3 4. I could do 3 2. 3 2 would require 6 1. 3 4 would require 2 6. I'm not really making much progress. I think what I need to be doing more of is keeping track of which ones am I repeating. Otherwise, I'm going to be like in trouble. It seems to be relying on that now to allow me to eliminate some possibilities. Unless I'm meant to use the negative constraint. Maybe. You know, for example, these two are supposedly not products, but happy we got the 5s. At least we had some digits. This is 2 4 6. This is 1 3 5. I want to try something. If this is 2, like remember, this is the most restrictive option that we have, that there's always a 2. So essentially eliminates the 1 2 4. It gives me 4 and 6 in here. I'll definitely have to have a 2 in there to go with a 4 or 6. Now I could do 4. No, I couldn't do 4 2 anymore. So I couldn't do double 2. So this one is gone. I could do 6 2 4 3. Let's just see 4, 3. Can I? I don't think I can, even if I reverse them. What would this cell be? No, I can, 2, 4. So this works. Where was that cell? So it was 6, 2 was that option. Now if it's 6 goes with 1, that doesn't work. So this is very restricted. This only works one way. But sadly, it still works, so I can't even eliminate it. Sometimes I do wish that there's more space for nodes. I'm going to move these a bit higher up so I can actually try and keep track of which options I have tried and essentially redo the pencil marks just to sort of get a sense of, can I actually eliminate some options from these cells? That seems like my best way forward right now. And then the other thing that I'm thinking about is a negative constraint in here. Negative constraint in there is maybe more powerful than what might imagine. Because you see, wherever there is a 5 in the vicinity, negative constraints will apply. Interesting. I haven't thought about it in the context of this black Kropki dot. Or this black Kropki dot. So this could be interesting as well. Getting a bit ahead of myself. Right. I want to just double check again. Can I make the double 2 option work? Not that way, because 2 and 3 are here. Okay, hang on. I'm having a senior moment here. So the 1 and 4. So wherever I put, so okay, so if I put the 4 there, I can't put the 1 here. So the 4 would always have to be here, the 1 would have to be there. That would make this a 3, and because it's the double 2, right. But if I reverse that diagonal, I don't think it changes anything. Whether this is the 4 and the 1, that would be 3, that would be 1. Okay, that does work. 2, and then 3, 6. Right, so what was it again? 2 and 2 with 4 and 6 and 1. No, wasn't that one. It was this one. That works. And then how does it work here? Because that's not a 2 anymore. That's not a 6. And then 4 and 6 never overlap, do they? Yeah, because 6, no, times 2, which I can't be with 4 and 3. So this actually breaks because of this cross. Right, we're getting somewhere. So this doesn't work in here. No, there's no way. That was 3, that was 2. Now, my options are, because they always have a 3, and I don't have a 3. So this would have to be 2, 4 with this option, because the 3 is gone. And the 3 would have to be up here. So essentially, to get to 12, it'd have to be 4, 3 in one of these directions. And this is always 6. Now, my options then here are 1 and 2 to get either to 6, and that would have to be 4, and so 6 and 1 would make 2 and 3 because that cell can't be 2. 6 and 2 would require 3 and 4, and that would be 3, and that would be 4. So this is always 3. This is a 1-5 pair to complete the row. Right, let's continue with this example here. These two cells now. So if it is 2, 3, then the 2 would go with a 3. I don't think that's possible because this is 2, 4. So it has to be this option because I've got a 4. So this doesn't work. That was simpler than I thought. And then the 2 and 4 would go with 3 and 6 by the looks of things. And then it's 3, 4, 6, 2. Yes. Now I'm pretty sure that there will be a favorite because I can't have 3, 4, 2, 6. That would break this black Kropke dot. So that has to be the 3, that has to be the 6. That would make this the 2, that would make this the... What? What am I doing? Two, 4, 3, 6. I don't want the 3 in here. So yeah, excuse me, 6 and 2, 3 and 4. That becomes 1, that becomes 3. 4 makes this 1, 2. Right, just rewind a bit. And if I do the opposite, 3 and 4, 6 and 2, it breaks because the 2 and 3 are lined up. So this is fixed. And this is 1, 2. And these are now whatever's left over, 4 and 6. Well, the 6 is not here. That's the 6. That's the 4. That makes this a 2. That makes this 6. That makes this 1. And that's another 1. And this is 3, 4. Now, the ones that include a 1, this is either, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not a 4. 1 times 4 would require a double 2, so it would have to be 1 and 6 with 3 and 2 to make this work. That would make this 4. And suddenly we're like nearly there. That's 4. This is 2, 6. This is, I mean, I'm just going to actually delete these now. I think I've got all I need. 4, 5. I mean, famous last words probably. Is that 1, 2, 4? The fact that there is a 6 in here. What was it again? It can only work with 6, 1 and 2, 3, or 6, 2 and 3, 4. So there has to be a 2. That's a 1, that's a 2. And therefore this is not 1, this is a 2, 4. So the 2 and 4, if this is 2, this would be 1. If this is 4, this would be 2, which it isn't. So that's 2, that's 1. And fingers crossed I've solved it. 4 and 3, 2 and 6, and just keep going. Fantastic puzzle. Yeah, I mean, I've not maybe the smoothest explanations from me, but I think it was a fairly logical solve. Just I hope that it was easy to follow despite the many backtracing that I was doing and kind of different scenarios I was trying to just expand my understanding of it. But what a fantastic puzzle, Kennet's dad. Thank you so much for creating it and sending it through. I really enjoyed it. I'm actually now curious, negative constraints. So yeah, anything that's a 5. So I'm just going to highlight anything that is touching the 5s as doesn't matter. So essentially, well, I mean, I am going to, can I do this? No, I can't. I just want to see which ones I'm eliminating. So 2 and 3 is 6, this is 4, so that's done. And then obviously the 5 here and the 5 there. Okay, what about what's going on here? These are sorted, so 36 obviously and 8, that doesn't work. 6 and yeah, that doesn't work. Anything with 5 doesn't work. And 6 and 4, 6 and 4. Wow. Sorry, excuse me. This one, 8 and 36. I think I've now checked all of these. Hang on, this one. Ooh. No, that's 4 and 1. And that is meant to work. What a stunning puzzle. And negative constraints, I guess, were available should you have chosen to use it. I don't know how you would have, but it was available. I imagine in a 9x9, if Kennet's dad goes wild with this, the answer is maybe the negative constraints would be helpful. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.